Welcome back to Washington Watch. I'm your host, Tony Perkins. So good to have you with us. Well, a few additional Republican senators indicating yesterday they plan to support Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court. Her path to confirmation is all but certain, but her road to nomination faced many questions as senators raised concerns over both her leniency as a judge sentencing child pornography offenders. I mean, it was pretty revealing. And of course, there was her inability, or more likely refusal, to define what a woman is. Joining me now to discuss this and more is Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. He serves on the Senate Judiciary Committee, the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, the Joint Economic Committee, and the Senate Committee on Rules and Administration. And he made the statement yesterday that if confirmed, she would be the most liberal justice to ever serve on our nation's high court. Senator, welcome back to the program.
Tony, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Senator Schumer declared this morning that Judge Jackson's likelihood of being confirmed is all but settled. Despite this, what issues should the American people be aware of that she is going to be taking to the court that could shape justice for this nation going forward?
Well, unfortunately, it does appear that she is on a path to confirmation, and looks like all the Democrats are going to vote for her, and 3 Republicans are voting for her as well. And I think that is really unfortunate because I believe, based on her record, she is going to prove to be the most left-wing justice to ever serve on the Supreme Court. What that will mean is a practical matter. I think she will vote to overturn Heller versus District of Columbia, the landmark case that protects our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. I think she will vote to overturn Citizens United, the landmark case that protects our free speech, our right to engage in the political process. I think she will vote to overturn fundamental protections for our religious liberty, including Zellman versus Simmons-Harris, the landmark case that upholds school choice programs across the country. All 3 of those cases were 5-4, 1 vote away from reversal, and I think she will be a hard left vote. On life, I think she will vote to strike down every single restriction on abortion you can find across the country. That means prohibitions on partial birth abortion. That means requirements for parental notification or parental consent. I think she will be at the extreme left. And then, Tony, you mentioned the area where her record is most out of the mainstream, and that's on crime. She has been a judge for nearly a decade, and as a federal district judge, she consistently had a pattern of sentencing criminal defendants to much, much less than the sentencing guidelines provided, much, much less than the prosecutors asked for, and much less than her peers. If you look nationally at the records nationally, her average sentence for all crimes was 29.9 months. So that's the average sentence for all types of crime. The average sentence nationally for federal district judges for all crimes was 45.1 months. So in other words, she's 34% below the average of other judges. But where her record really gets extreme is with regard to sexual predators, in particular those offenders guilty of child pornography. For those who possess child pornography, the average sentence nationally is 68 months. Her average sentence was 29.2 months, 57% below the national average. And for those who distribute child pornography, the average sentence was 135 months, so 11 years. Her average sentence was 71.9 months, 47% below the average. And what I think that means is, as a justice, she is going to be a vote that will consistently side with criminal defendants. I think she will vote to strike down the death penalty nationally, and I think she will consistently vote to release criminals from jail, to create loopholes, to create technicalities. She will side with violent predators and with sex offenders over and over and over again, because that's her record of what she's done as a judge on the federal district court.
Senator Cruz, you're a student of the Supreme Court. You've been there, you've watched it, you've worked there. We know she's replacing a liberal. She's going to be to the left. But what influence, what shaping power will she have inside the court?
Well, I think she may have very significant shaping power. She'll be replacing Justice Stephen Breyer. I think she will be way, way, way to the left of Breyer. Breyer will occasionally vote on the conservative side of the aisle. Before I was in the Senate, my career was litigating before the U.S. Supreme Court. One of the landmark cases that I litigated and won before the Supreme Court was a defense of the Texas Ten Commandments monument, a monument that stands on the state capitol ground that commemorates the Ten Commandments. We went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and we won 5-4, just one vote away. And the deciding vote was Steve Breyer. Steve Breyer voted with the state of Texas to uphold that monument. If we'd have lost Justice Breyer, if Judge Jackson had been there instead of Justice Breyer, I believe Texas would have lost and the court would have ordered us to bulldoze a monument that stood on the state capitol grounds since 1961. As you know, the last book I wrote is called One Vote Away, How a Single Supreme Court Seat Can Change History. And every chapter talks about these landmark 5-4 decisions that are hanging in the balance. And I think Judge Jackson will be a consistent voice pushing her colleagues to the far, far left.
Senator, we're out of time, but I do want to tell you this. I thank you, and I know our listeners and viewers do as well, for fighting. Even though the confirmation looked almost certain from the start because of the balance of the Senate being split, but you fought, and we're grateful for that. That's what we want to see in our leaders, fight for the things they campaign on and things that are important to this country, and you've done that. Senator, thanks for being with us.